Can you hear me?
Yep, we hear you, Diggy.
Okay, cool. I didn't see the green line around my little icon, so okay, cool. If you guys want to follow along, there's a Zoom link in the stage chat. I'm going to kick us off, even though it seems like there's still people rolling in, just because we have a packed agenda today. I am going to share my screen in that Zoom link, so you guys can follow along. Okay, cool. Assuming everybody can see that. So today we have a lot to cover, and we have a guest speaker with us. Highlander has joined us up on the stage. He's going to talk about some cool stuff with Willie Fox. But I'm going to just quickly cover current projects that are in flight and upcoming projects, and where to find those in our Notion. And then Willie and Decentralized J are going to talk about idle finance and why we're going to prioritize that on the product roadmap. We are going to talk a little bit about the native wallet migration and what that flow is going to look like for our users. And then CalSwap, talking about that integration, is Decentralized J. The dApp store, Willie and Highlander are going to take that one. And then Fox McCloud is going to give us a quick update on Cosmos and where that's at. And then Beard is going to show us quickly the gem integration that just launched last week for anybody who hasn't seen it. And then Beard and I are going to go over the Foxy UX for anybody who's not familiar with that project. That'll be a really good dive into what that is and the user flow behind it. And that's gone through quite a few rounds of usability testing. And then if we have time at the end, Hoff is going to just show us some of the changes he's been making on ShapeShift.com. But again, we have a packed schedule today. I'm not sure we'll get through everything, but hopefully we will. So with that said, I am going to, I guess I'll keep my eye on the stage chat. If you have questions, either raise your hand or post them in the stage chat, and we'll try to address them as we go. So in Notion, there's the product and creative services workstream section. Inside here, there's like a February, March section that you can also find like the overarching roadmap. But this is like a more detailed snapshot of some of the projects on there that are currently in flight and or have been completed. So this top section, we just launched, as you guys probably know or may not know, you're able to see your full TX history now in the new web app, and you can download an Excel file for taxes. We launched Gem, so that gives us the buy-sell crypto. So we launched a new buy-sell crypto page on ShapeShift.com, which hopefully Hoff will get to show us later. In flight, we have translations for the new web app and setting your default currency. Keep key setup and settings. These all currently live in beta.shapeshift.com. We are migrating these into the new web app, and that's currently in flight. One of the things we started to add here is who the product owners are on a project and who the dev owners are on a project. This is a new thing by the engineering workstream to have assign dev owner or owners for each project to help guide them and make sure they get through from start to finish. And this also allows us to have more multiple projects going on simultaneously, in addition to the larger projects. So as you guys know, the big project right now that's going on is Cosmos, but at the same time, keep key setup and settings is important. The XDeFi wallet integration, which is currently in testing, is important. So these are all also still in flight. So we're basically trying to be an octopus with 8 arms and have all of these projects going on simultaneously. And then the demo wallet, this is an awesome project. This will allow users to come and demo our new platform without a wallet connected. So they can see the features that we offer and what we're all about without actually connecting their wallet first. So this is another project that's currently in flight. And then coming up, we have Thorchain support parity. So this is us getting to parity on the new web app with our old beta.shapeshift.com. That is the next large epic coming up after Cosmos. There's a link here in all of these. You can see there's links to the specs that tells you who the product owner is and then who the dev owner is for each of those. Mobile app and native wallet migration. Willie is going to talk about that in a little bit. and there's a link there to that spec as well. We're going to talk about today the idle finance integration and why we are prioritizing that. CalSwap as well. This is another one. The spec's in progress. Product owner is Decentralized J, and the dev owner on that one is Ryan. And then we're going to talk today a little bit about the dApp store. So we have a lot of projects that we are preparing on the product side for engineering, and then as you guys can see, we have a lot of stuff already in flight. So lots of stuff going on, and yeah, we'll do our best to give you guys some good overviews of these today. But again, all of this stuff you can always find in our Notion, and if you have any questions, you can always reach out on the product public chat or DM any of us directly, and we'd be happy to help you out. So with that, I'm going to stop my share. And up next, Willie and Decentralized J are going to talk about idle finance. And let me just see if there's any questions. No questions. All right, guys, I'll let you take it.
Thanks, Diggy. GM, everyone. GM Decentralized J. Yep. So, we were about to kick off the integration with Tokamak yesterday. And what this would look like would be giving users the ability to deposit into the Tokamak vaults directly from ShapeShift's UI. And we decided yesterday, in the 11th hour, to actually postpone that integration potentially indefinitely, and instead prioritize it with, right now we're looking at idle finance as an ideal candidate to prioritize instead of the Tokamak integration. So first, I'll talk about why we didn't integrate Tokamak. One of the reasons is that they don't have the APR available programmatically yet. It's not something that we can query on chain or from API. So that's definitely makes the integration a bit less interesting because users would not be able to see the APR in our UI. We'd have to send them over to Tokamak to do that. And obviously, that's an important piece of information for a user to decide whether or not they want to invest in a vault. Another reason was that the UI UX for Tokamak has some nuances relative to other single-sided staking opportunities. So there's a ton of protocols out there that have the exact same UI UX as Yearn, where you approve the token, deposit the token, you can see your balance, and you can see the underlying value grow, and then withdraw. But Tokamak is slightly different. They have these at epochs, and you have to request a withdrawal, and you can't withdraw till the end of the epoch, and the rewards accrue in epochs. So there are some nuances there. Whereas something like idle finance, we can do pretty much the exact same UI UX that we have for Yearn, which will make it lighter weight and also kind of help out prove out this model, this plugin model, where once we have a couple references, it will again be very easy for us to add any other single-sided staking protocol that has that same UI UX. And the last reason is related to Foxy. So we're about to launch Foxy in the coming weeks. Foxy is built on top of the Tokamak reactor and should always have as good or even better yield than the Tokamak reactor due to the compounding in the contract that happens automatically and regularly. So, and we've talked already about how we want to once we launch this for Foxy, offer this to other DAOs, other projects with a Tokamak reactor. And John has had some really awesome ideas about how we can do that effectively lately. So we're going to be sharing more about that soon. But all of these were some reasons that made Tokamak integration look a little bit less interesting than we had initially considered it, and made some good arguments for why we should instead prioritize something like idle finance instead. So I'll go ahead and share my screen for idle finance really quickly, just to give you guys an understanding of what that looks like. One of the really cool things about idle finance are these perpetual tranches, and they have really good yield right now. So like right now, you can get 10.5% APY on Fei, and do that in a way where your deposit is insured automatically, which is really cool. So you just invest in the senior tranche, you don't have to purchase insurance or do anything or pay up front, and you get a slightly lower APR than you would otherwise. But they're also boosting this with idle tokens right now. And you know your deposit is insured from any loss, not just like exploit or anything, but anything that would cause the value of your deposit to go down. You are protected. There's also these junior tranches, which have really high APR. And part of the reason they have such high APR is that when you deposit into the junior tranche, you are basically insuring assets deposited into the corresponding senior tranche. So Idle's pretty cool. They've been around. They're actually around even before Yearn. They're like the original yield generating protocol. So they've been around for quite a while. These tranches are a new improvement. And yeah, you can see, we'll check out some of the yields they have available, some of the opportunities. They have quite a few vaults that we'll be able to add. Furthermore, they're interested in matching an integration bounty with us. So we don't expect this to be very high, but whatever it is, let's say we decide $20,000 is a sufficient bounty to get this integrated, which I think it should be, knowing that the scope isn't too high, something around there. Idle's we would only have to put up half that bounty, and Idle will put the other half up. Also, they're happy to pay us affiliate revenues, similar to Yearn. So this can be another revenue stream for us, and again, really helps us just prove out that model. So that's pretty much all I got. We're in the, we need to, we're chatting with engineering about this. We need to still kind of put together the spec for this. And a big part of that is going to be the router contract. We'll need to deploy another router contract with one minor change, and we'll need to get that audited. That's probably going to be the biggest blocker, I think, for getting this out there. But Ocean, this is on his radar. He's going to be taking a look at this next week and seeing what contract changes are needed and whether that's something that he's able to help out with.
Cool.
Wait,
Thank you.
Willie, I'm stoked about this. I think it'd be really cool to give users the option to have junior and senior tranches, and to be able to ensure their deposits and take on more risk if they are a degen like some of us in here.
Amen. Yeah, and hopefully, again, this will be the first of many more of these integrations. One thing that's pretty compelling is that they're ready to move forward with the affiliate revs and match us on that bounty. Cool. I think that's all I got on Idle. Are there any questions in the stage chat about this?
I didn't see any. So,
Cool.
I think we're good to move on to the next thing. So Willie Fox, as you guys know, is sometimes I want to say honorary product owner. So one of the projects he's been helping us on is getting this native wallet migration ready to go and kicked off. So I guess I will keep the mic on Willie, and he can kind of share the spec that he's been working on, and we can talk through what this implementation would look like on the new web app.
Thanks, Diggy. Hello again, everybody. I'll go ahead and post. I'm sharing my screen in Zoom, GM Hoff. I also just posted a link to the spec in ShapeShift stage chat. Yeah, so as you guys know, we have this existing mobile app with a lot of users, and we also have this mission to fully decentralize ShapeShift. And the existing mobile app is dependent on all of ShapeShift's legacy infrastructure. But we've been planning this for a while. So the new app.shapeshift.com has been built as a progressive web app, and it already works great in mobile browsers. And the cool thing is that we can actually, it's possible to take a progressive web app and wrap it in a React Native wrapper. So you can have a mobile app that is in the App Store, downloadable, feels just like a mobile app, but shares all the same code for app.shapeshift.com, which means that we'll be able to just focus all of our efforts on app.shapeshift.com, the web stack, and we won't have to build features twice like we sometimes had to do in the past. We had to build two different UIs, both for mobile and for beta.shapeshift.com. Once we have parity, so yeah, we broke this into two stages. So the first stage is basically giving users a path to be able to import their ShapeShift native wallet. So anyone who's signed up on shapeshift.com with email and password to create a wallet, or the mobile app to create a wallet, we need to give them a path to be able to import that wallet into the new app.shapeshift.com. Right now, the only way to do that is to export your seed phrase and then to type your seed phrase in on app.shapeshift.com. But we have all these encrypted seed phrases, and users are able to decrypt them locally with their email and password. So the first stage is going to be giving users the ability to log in on app.shapeshift.com with their email and password to import their wallet into app.shapeshift.com. We're also going to give them a path to delete their ShapeShift account from the servers once they complete this. This was a suggestion from Mr. Nerdhair, so we have that scoped out. And the second stage is actually once we have confidence that this path works and users can successfully import their wallet into V2 with their email password. And once we have sufficient parity between app.shapeshift.com and beta.shapeshift.com, things like Thorchain trading and the Fox farming functionality that we have in mobile, then we will actually flip the switch and we will submit the update to the App Store with the wrapped progressive web app. And we will what that will basically do is redirect all of the users of the legacy ShapeShift app to this new version. And we're going to do something cool too, where users who are already logged in on the mobile app and who basically have their seed already stored securely on the device, because we're using the same app, we're going to retrieve that seed automatically and enable the user to just switch over seamlessly. They won't have to log back into their account when they open the mobile app, as long as they're already logged in. If they are logged out, but an existing user, then they'll have this existing path that's well tested to be able to import their account. So without going through all the details, I'll show you guys how smooth this is going to be. Fortunately, we've designed this in a way that's really lightweight and should be very easy for existing users, while also not confusing for new users. Because again, this is only going to be for users who have already created a ShapeShift wallet with their email and password. New users, we're going to push to just create the wallet and back up their seed phrase. We're not going to be storing them going forward. And a big part of that is that there's not a way to do that in a decentralized fashion, right? You can't have this public database of encrypted seed phrases without opening up vulnerabilities from brute forcing that public database of these encrypted seed phrases. So the way this is going to look for users, I'll just go look at the flow. So right now you can go to app.shapeshift.com and click Connect Wallet, and then you'll see the list of available wallets. So for this, we are going to bury this path inside the ShapeShift wallet. So in order to do this, users will first select ShapeShift Wallet, which will make sense for users who know they have a ShapeShift wallet. They'll click Import Wallet as opposed to Create New Wallet because they know they've already got a wallet. And then when you click Import Wallet, the way it looks right now is it shows you a big input field where you can type in your 12 seed words. At the bottom of that, so we're still going to have that UI where you can import your 12 words as the primary path. But there will be a secondary link at the bottom that's going to say, or log in with email and password. And if a user clicks log in with email and password, we're just going to replace that secret phrase input with 2 fields for email and password. Then users can input their email and password and click Import Wallet. And if it's the correct password, they will see a success message that their wallet was imported successfully. I have this as TBD. I think we're likely going to proceed with this as part of this required scope. But once a user does successfully import their wallet, we want to give them this path to delete their encrypted wallet from ShapeShift servers, or just to back up their wallet if they haven't already, or they can just view dashboard assuming that they've already backed up their wallet. So what will happen behind the scenes is that once the user inputs their email and password, we're going to get that. We're going to encrypt it, pass the hash to this API endpoint that's going to be created just for Foundation. Adam is helping out with this just to enable this path. We want to do it in a really secure way. So not leveraging the existing auth and membership database, but specifically an endpoint that is created just to provide the necessary data. So just that list of encrypted hashes, which are a hash of an email and password, along with the encrypted seed phrase. And yeah, once if the hash is valid that we get, we'll get back that encrypted seed phrase, and the client will be able to decrypt it locally and save it. Once the user does successfully import, they'll have these options. And if they do select, the other options are pretty straightforward. Viewing the dashboard or backing up wallet is just the existing dashboard. But if they do select delete your encrypted wallet, we're going to borrow a lot from the existing flows. So we already have this. But yeah, we want to make sure that before a user deletes their wallet, we want to make sure that they've backed up their seed phrase. So we will give them the opportunity before they do that to back up their seed phrase. This will match the existing wallet creation flow. But there will also be, on the second step, after they've seen their words, once they go to the verification flow, there will be an extra step to be able to skip. And the reason for this is that some users will have already backed up their wallet, right? They want to import their wallet into the new version. They want to delete their old account, but they've backed up their wallet and they've done it the right way. They've written it down. They don't have their wallet, their seed phrase handy. Ideally they don't just have it on their phone, but backed up somewhere, written down somewhere safe. So we do want to give them the option to skip, but we only want to give them the option to skip if they check a box that says, I confirm that my secret recovery phrase is already backed up securely. So if they either verify their seed phrase or if they let us know that they've backed it up, then they will have the opportunity to delete their ShapeShift account. We're going to remind them once again that once they do this, they won't be able to access their seed phrase, and they will have to input their password one more time if they want to delete their account. And if they do delete their account, they'll see the success message and then be able to view dashboard. This will be the only path to be able to delete your account. So if a user skips it the first time around and they decide they want to delete their account later, they'll have to go back through this same import flow again. And the reason for that is that we don't want to have to keep state around which users have deleted their account and which haven't. We don't want to also, on the other hand, expose this path to like all users in the UI UX when it will only apply to a subset, a small subset likely. So yeah, that's stage one. Stage two is when we will actually implement the ability to automatically import the wallet into the mobile app for users that are already logged in. The ability to store the new and imported native wallet seed phrase in the mobile device's secure storage. And we'll wrap the app in a React Native app and submit the app to the app stores. I know that was a lot.
I just want to jump in here too. And why this is so important is just part of us sunsetting this old centralized ShapeShift, all of these old systems that we still have. This is a big piece of that. So once all of the users are migrated over, we can start to safely sunset some of that old infrastructure.
Yes, that's why this is so critical. And this will help. Yeah, this will enable us to sunset the legacy infrastructure, and it will migrate all of our legacy users over to the new version. And right now, where most of our active users are on the ShapeShift mobile app. Cool. Any questions in stage chat about this?
Mr. Nerdhair just mentioned that we'll need to do a CAPTCHA, and he's writing something else.
Thank you, Mr. Nerdhair. Okay. I'll put that here, a note for that. That's on the login, right, Mr. Nerdhair?
I believe so, yes. And then he said we need to do a research spike on how to do the CAPTCHA process safely. Standard CAPTCHA systems use a code snippet, which we can't include safely.
Okay, so user will need to CAPTCHA. Cool. Thanks, Mr. Nerdhair. Mr. Nerdhair, what do you think of the delete account flow?
I think it's good. I honestly, I didn't catch. Did you say if that's going to be the sort of the default experience or not?
It will be part of the default experience, but it will be opt-in. We're not going to force that users delete their account, but we are going to give them the every user that goes through this flow the option to delete their account.
So, like, I would. My 2 cents, which are not worth anything in the UI design department necessarily, but my 2 cents would be to finish after the import process is done, essentially begin the delete process, and then have a button that's like no thanks or something to like opt people out of that. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. That's up to y'all. And thanks for implementing that thing that I was recommending. I appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks for the feedback too. We can consider that. What do you think, Diggy?
Yeah, we can consider it. I think we should talk through it a little bit more. Eventually, all of those accounts will be deleted anyway. So, yeah, I'm on the fence there. But yeah, we can talk about it.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Any other questions around this mobile migration flow or feedback? All right. I'll take that as a sign that you guys absolutely love it. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Next up, Decentralized J is going to talk about cow swap and why we think this is important and why we're prioritizing this on the product side.
Woo! Cow swap. Stoked about this. I'm not going to show off a spec because not that it's not done, but it's not that exciting looking. So basically, at a high level, if y'all are unfamiliar with cow swap, it is more than just a cool name for a trading protocol. Cow actually stands for coincidence of once, and basically it's a DEX kind of aggregator of all the DEX aggregators at a really high level. So it enables a couple of things. One, MEV protected trading, which is awesome. You can get front run, and then two, it will actually enable gasless trading, which is super cool. So basically, if you are trying to sell or swap, say, USDC, and someone else on the other side of the world is also trying to swap USD or buy USDC, it'll just pair you guys up, and make the transaction happen. And it actually batches transactions so that you have way less gas and way less fees in general. So it's a pretty cool protocol. There's obviously a lot to it. I probably did not explain all of it very well, but it goes pretty far down the rabbit hole. I encourage you all to check it out. But at a high level for us, basically, it will serve as another way to trade on ShapeShift. And it's a super cool way to do it too, in addition to 0x, because in general, CowSwap, I think almost at all times will actually have the best rates. If it can't find a coincidence of once for whatever assets you're trying to swap around, then it will go the DEX route, just like you would normally do. But if it can, then it's sweet. You just approve the token and then do a signature. It sends you a signature request, and it's gasless trading. I've used it a bunch of times. Super seamless. Willie, I know you're a big fan. I don't think we're probably going to integrate the Moo feature after you do a trade, which is a staple of CowSwap itself, but super excited about this, adding another way for users to transact on ShapeShift itself. So yeah.
Cool. And they're another protocol too that has an affiliate rev share model, right?
Yes, most importantly, we will make money off of this.
Yes, which is awesome.
Awesome.
Big revenues that we're currently not monetizing. And also the CowSwap team is also interested in doing like a joint integration bounty with us on this too.
There's some HPain is writing in the chat. He said, I think CowSwap does a thing where once a week they waive all fees and gas for transactions. I remember some guy at the CowSwap East Denver booth mentioning that.
I don't know about that, but I do know one of the really cool things about CowSwap, the way that it works is that it's not all on-chain transactions that you pay the gas for. So once you approve a token, which is a cheaper gas fee, you just sign messages for all trades from that token. And CowSwap does is they submit all these signed messages as a batch transaction, and they pay the gas fee for it. So the gas fees are lower, and you don't even have to have Ethereum in your wallet, which is pretty cool. They do charge you. You do have to pay some amount of that gas fee, but they take that out of the tokens that you're swapping. And so you don't have to have ETH, and it is a cheaper gas cost than you would pay if you were just paying the gas cost yourself. Also, yeah, CowSwap is just always pretty much at this point, they're the best rates on trades. So you'll get a better rate on CowSwap than if you go to 0x or if you go to 1inch or if you go to Paraswap. And that coincidence of ones that Justin mentioned means that you can potentially get like a much, much, much better rate than you would be able to get anywhere on chain without CowSwap.
Cool. Thanks, you guys, for giving us the TLDR on CowSwap. Next up, with Highlander on the stage and Willie Fox, they're going to talk through the dApp store and how we're envisioning that.
All right. What up, Mr. Highlander?
What's up, guys? GM.
GM. Highlander.
So yeah, this is something that both Highlander and myself have been thinking of for a long time. And finally, it is becoming a reality. And it's pretty cool because Highlander, when I mentioned this last week, here to take tech lead on this project and showed me that he has actually built already a ton of what we are envisioning in this KeepKey client that they've been working on, which is a fork of the ShapeShift web app. So yeah, I think it'd be great. Highlander, are you down to maybe give a demo? I can talk a little bit and then we can give a demo of kind of what you already have in KeepKey client. Would that work?
Yeah. Hold on. I got to give permissions to stream on this computer.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead. While you do that, I'm going to share my screen a little bit and I will show. Started putting together the spec earlier because I want to get this ready to go ASAP because we do think this type of thing that can be bountied out and will be relatively low effort and could be a big game changer for ShapeShift. So I've kind of put this into I think we can break these chunks. And yeah, I'm going to paint a little picture for kind of how we envision this app store looking like in ShapeShift. So we want to enable ShapeShift users to use apps supported by Wallet Connect. So right now, many of you guys know, KeepKey users and ShapeShift native wallet users cannot connect to apps. There's a few apps that support KeepKey, none yet other than ShapeShift Wallet. And this is a big missing feature. relative to our competitors like Mask, where there's a whole amazing world of dApps out there and new dApps being launched. And right now, the only way to use them is with a wallet other than our own. So this is like one of the core missing pieces of functionality that we need to solve. And this has already been spec'd out. So Decentralized J has put together the spec for enabling users to use any of the wallets supported by ShapeShift to connect to any app supported by Wallet Connect. Once this will solve all. So always still, we can just rule out having native Keep Key or native ShapeShift wallet integrations in these apps. But as at least the first step to enable users to use all these apps, this is by far the quickest win. And the next piece is how do users discover these apps, right? Right now, we know about apps, we tell each other about apps, but there's not a great place where you can go about all these apps and quickly find an app that you're looking for users to search, discover what apps. We've played around with the idea of calling this Discover. So some really cool opportunities here where we have listings for each app, screenshots, just ratings and reviews. This will be the next phase. And categories and stuff. Plus, we can have cool like featured apps and stuff, and we can light app. And we might even get referral fees just for driving users from ShapeShift to these different apps. CowSwap, for instance, already has that referral mechanism built in, where you can just pass in an address as a query parameter and get referral fees. This will opportunities. And then the next open source decentralized app stores with verified ratings and reviews. This is the grail, and I think this needs to exist. No one has built this yet. We are, and no one has built it in a decentralized way with how it should be. And ShapeShift was in position to be the first ones to build this and get some incredible first mover advantage and network effects. Like, I'm hopeful that as we can also pair with part of the strategy, campaigns with each of these apps and stuff to get their users in their communities to come give them ratings and reviews on ShapeShift. And as soon as we get that flywheel started, it's going to be very hard for someone else to come disrupt it. The core idea with ratings and reviews is that we can, first of all, just by looking, we can use on-chain data to see how valid a review is. So obviously addresses that have a higher number of transactions, have spent more gas, have longer history, we can give those higher weight. And we can also verify ratings and reviews from addresses that have interacted with the given protocol. And we can also do stuff like, maybe only addresses with TX history and a balance over 0.05 ETH can leave reviews. We can do some really smart, easy stuff to make sure that it's difficult to game this, just like Amazon does with their verified reviews. And we can do this also with signed messages. So users won't need an account. They can sign a message, which will be totally free. And then we can store these on IPFS in a decentralized fashion. So it might feel a lot like Snapshot. We might use a similar stack that Snapshot uses, which has made their voting experience so great. So that's pretty much, those are the details here. We're going to flesh more of it out. Highlander will show you that he's already built quite a bit of this. One other thing that I will mention before I hand it over to Highlander is that there's a big opportunity, I think, for us to also non-development work and bounties out there to make our app store awesome. So now you can see Connect already has this registry. dApp sits in. It's hundreds of awesome. All they have is in the word dApp in the website. We have an opportunity here to.
Willie, just so you know, you're cutting in and out quite a bit. I don't know if you can
I thought it was me. Okay.
Oh no.
I could take over, Willie.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? I'm almost done, and I'll hand it over.
Mostly we can hear you. It's like 80-20.
Okay. Well, maybe I need to talk slower too. Last thing I wanted to say is that we are tentatively planning to do a bounty around this, where a community member can go out and get more information on each of these. So, write a short description, take a screenshot. For that rating and review thing, ideally, we can grab their contract addresses, basically going through and adding more metadata, and also putting these into buckets, right? Aave, this is a lending protocol. Zerion and Zapper, these are, interfaces or dashboards. Local crypto, this is like fiat on and off ramp. Rarible, NFTs, just putting these in, which of these are free. We can put together a matrix of categories and tags that we would want to use for sorting and filtering these apps and making a good app store experience. And then we can, bounty that out, and I think relatively cheaply get together a really comprehensive see the database. And eventually we can invite projects immediately we can invite projects to come in and make pull requests to update their listings. But we can at least see the database, I think, relatively efficiently, and get this off to a really strong start. All right. Hopefully you guys caught that. And now, I'm really excited for you to see what Highlander has already built on his own. Highlander?
Cool. Is it up? My Zoom just quit on me.
Yeah, I see your screen.
Cool. So we have been trying to get KeepKey supported in more places, and I've been working on this for a long time. So Wallet Connect is a really great protocol. In its ecosystem, there's really two types of applications out there. There's wallets, and then there's dApps. So ideally, we would be doing both of these things for ShapeShift. We would turn the wallet infrastructure that's in the current application into a registered wallet, so that this wallet can then pair with any of the dApps in the ecosystem. Wallet Connect is probably one of the most implemented wallet protocols in the entire Ethereum ecosystem. It's definitely worth mentioning that it's only the ETH ecosystem. If you go to V2, they literally only have one application that has done their multi-chain implementations. But Ethereum's really a juggernaut, and all the EVM clones can all work in here. There's a lot of gotchas on there, and a lot of we'll have to do some work to make sure that we're on the right network and we can support these things. But it definitely opens our ecosystem a lot. This is my fork of app.shapeshift.com. We've been bringing in a bunch of KeepKey services into it. So I can just kind of show how this works. So if I'm in the app, we could have our app store, which could just be a tab on the side. And then we'll just go ahead and open up Uniswap. And with Wallet Connect, we'll disconnect and pair it again. We'll just have to have some way. So probably we'll have some kind of helper modal that tells people, hey, you're using Wallet Connect, find Wallet Connect on your application. We'll copy it to clipboard. We could probably listen to this to where as soon as we're listening to the clipboard, it could just work. But for this right now, I have to paste it in manually. But when you do this, you approve allowing to pair. Notice how the user knows who they're talking to. This is important for the rating system because you don't want to pair to a scam or a site that you don't understand. So doing the legwork of knowing what applications we're letting our users pair to is really important. And just like that, there's a WebSocket connection going in between the Wallet Connect server, your local wallet, and the application that you're talking to. And then anytime you're on here transacting, you'll just go to transact, and then you have to navigate back over to ShapeShift. For us, we're a desktop application, so we can just kind of take over your screen and force it to the front. We'll go ahead and sign this. I'm signing it on my KeepKey right now. And Wallet Connect is really cool when it already has a transaction broadcasting. You can view it when it gets on Etherscan. And this whole UX of using ShapeShift as a wallet where you can interact with other applications is really interesting. Because we're in this interesting place where we're both a wallet and a dApp ourselves. So there's two types of implementations. The dApp store is implementing us as a wallet. We can also make it so that Trust Wallet and all these other wallet providers, it could be a wallet option to connect your other wallets into the ShapeShift app as a whole. So there's a lot of angles on this. One thing that I'm going to pitch for us to bring into MyCrypto has a really awesome scam database. And what it does is it tracks all the scams on the internet, and it makes a big database of all the addresses and known scam addresses. And Wallet Connect's really powerful and really awesome, but it also opens up for a lot of dangers. People can get on like a phishing Uniswap site that all it does is ask you to approve token transfers, and then it takes all your money. Bringing in the scam database and filtering out who you connect, and warning people if they connect to malicious dApps, I think is an important part of this project. But yeah, we've been thinking about this for a long time for KeepKey, and it makes a lot of sense for the platform as well. Native wallet users, Trezor, Ledger, even XDeFi, and some of these other wallets could all be connected to anything in the Ethereum ecosystem.
Yeah. One thing that Highlander had always also talked about, I forgot to mention, was the ability to like save some dApps that you want to that you frequently use to your list.
Yes.
And then also we could have like recently used apps as well. And I think that'll be a cool tabs just to add and make it like the best Wallet Connect experience out there. Also, Mr. Nair has been working on EIP 712. That will also be really cool. It will enable us both on the UI and on the KeepKey interface to actually show users like in human readable language what they're signing, which anyone who's ever signed smart contract interactions on a ledger knows how confusing and weird that experience is right now. So I'm excited because we really have the opportunity to do this the best. It's a huge opportunity, and it's gonna really open the door for all of our ShapeShift users to explore this growing universe of decentralized applications that right now they just have not historically had access to.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that EIP 712 is going to be a requirement, and it's also something that we should probably get a bounty on for at least the native software wallet, NHD wallet, out, because a lot of these dApps actually only use EIP 7112 for certain transactions. So that is going to be a technical requirement for us to do a full Wallet Connect. But I have a partial implementation that I'm demoing right now that does not support 712. So if I try to do a swap on USDC on Uniswap, it would actually error right now because our native wallet does not support EIP 712 yet.
So just to chime in on that note, supporting EIP 712 in the native wallet should be relatively simple. The KeepKey implementation is a tricky bit. Conveniently, though, I did the work for the KeepKey firmware like back when the DAO launched. So we've got a branch sitting that is at or near, I think, production quality for that. We'll still have to update the HD Wallet KeepKey package to be compatible, but it's a lot less of a lift than it would be for integrating it on, otherwise. I jumped up here just because I want to say that especially the idea of putting together a dApp store and making the interaction with other dApps a first-class experience from our interface, using our interface as a wallet. I think that there are several areas in which having an Electron app there will allow us to make it a better experience. Like the ability to open Wallet Connect URLs. When you click on it, instead of trying to rig up like the website to handle that protocol, or do some sort of copy and paste thing. I know Highlander has been building this KeepKey client, which is essentially like app.shapeshift.com, but in Electron and with special KeepKey features. I know he's been building that specifically for KeepKey, but I'd like to sort of bring up the question: should we, take that code base and adopt it and make it an official DAO product? Another incarnation of our same app. I mean, it's the same code, and I see us giving users a better experience on the dApp store, at least, if not in other ways, by offering that.
I actually had a pitch, proposal I started drafting. I was proposing that we take out the majority of the wallet features and turn it into a new product called Fox Wallet. And that product could compete directly with like a MetaMask. And that would allow this Wallet Connect is great for the ETH ecosystem, but I think Wallet Connect is really dropping the ball on their multi-chain V2. And I think the whole ecosystem is ripe for a multi-chain competitor to come in. And I think we have a lot of the tech. HD Wallet is a very mature project at this point. And most of the multi-chain wallets out there are very immature. So I think we're in a position in the entire ecosystem to really turn that into a major product. And yeah, this Electron stuff I've been working on has a lot more ramifications than just making Kiki better.
We've got CAPE standards integrated in our stack. Part of the motivation for that, I mean, other than them just being real good, part of the motivation for that, and where I originally found it, that project from, was that that's how Wallet Connect V2 does their multi-chain stuff. Wallet Connect V2 isn't quite fully baked on multi-chain stuff yet. Like, they have the abstract notion of connecting to different chains, but the specific functions or types you might use to actually sign transactions or whatever are still kind of up in the air. I think we have an opportunity to involve ourselves in the standards process there, and really define what a Wallet Connect V2 experience will look like.
I couldn't agree more, Mr. Nerdhair. And I think that we should get you guys on a call with Wallet Connect, because I think that they have struggled a little bit with the V2, and I couldn't agree more that we're in a great position to be that multi-chain Wallet Connect UI, and to, like you said, Mr. Nerdhair, help them figure out what the best standards are.
Especially because we'll be bringing essentially a wallet, a code base. If somebody wants to use Wallet Connect V2, they can just integrate HD Wallet or chain adapters, or one of the levels of our stack, and poof.
I think yeah, if we can make HD Wallet the multi-chain competitor to onboard JS2 and get more apps to implement HD Wallet, that will also pay dividends. So I love the way you guys are thinking about this. Also love your idea for an Electron app, which Highlander's already been playing with. I think it'd be awesome if you could just download the ShapeShift web app if you wanted to, and it feels like Exodus, right? You just have it local, and I believe that you're right, that we can make it the best experience, especially for hardware wallet users to interact with all these dApps. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Asked in the stage chat too, curious to hear everyone on the call's thoughts on this downloadable app. Is that something that we should prioritize? Would you, if we built that, you guys download the app and use it? But I also want to make sure we save time for the rest of the agenda, so I'll pass it back to Diggy. Thank you, Highlander and Mr. Nerdhair, for helping give that overview of the dApp Store.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for being guest speakers. Awesome. If there are no other questions around that topic, let's keep moving forward. Fox McCloud is going to give us a quick update on Cosmos and where that's at. And then Beard's going to chat about the gem integration and dive into the Foxy UX.
Awesome. Thank you, Diggy. I can go fast. I don't want us to run over time. And I know some of the stuff Beard's sharing is pretty exciting. So I'm sure all of you have been hearing all about Cosmos. It's been making some great progress, or at least milestone 1, which is, balance, market data, send, receive, things along those lines. So let me share my screen real quick. All right. So very soon this will be released, and then they'll dive into milestone 2, which is going to be staking and delegating, claiming rewards, all the really, really fun stuff you can do on the Cosmos ecosystem. So that is all still to come, but at least the architecture and backend is all wired up for Cosmos now. You can see that if you have a balance, it'll pop up in your assets, just like anything else. You'll see it comes into your recent transactions, sends and receives. You can click into it, and we have a asset screen, asset page, just like we would with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other token, with charting, asset allocation, recent transactions, some more information just about Cosmos, and other basic market data. So yeah, this is going to continue to be expanded upon. To send, you would click up here, just like any other token. Receive, and of course, you can copy it by clicking the truncated address, or you can click copy. You can always view the address fully if you go to the Explorer, and that will be linked out to MintScan. So yeah, all the basic functionality is here and working, and will continue to be built upon. And hopefully, if all goes well, I think this should be actually, I don't think it's coming on the release today, or maybe it is. I should actually go check and double check, unless one of you have heard. But that's pretty much everything on Cosmos. Any specific questions?
I don't see any. And yeah, just to add to that, so this is the first piece. Like he said, staking is already being worked on as the next feature for this. And then this also gives us what the infrastructure that we needed in order to build out the Osmosis project. So there is, for those of you who are not familiar, there's a massive like Osmosis bounty that was approved a long time ago. And all of this work that you're currently seeing was needed in order to get all of that work started. So yeah,
Exactly.
a lot of cool stuff coming up. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to hand the reins over to Beard. And for those of you who aren't aware, there is a Zoom link at the top of the stage chat for anybody who wants to follow along with what we're going to be showing. Okay, Beard, it's you. Take it away.
My audio cut out for like a really long time there. I don't know if that was me or you, or
Maybe it was me. Anyway,
I guess we'll find
go
out as
for
I
it.
start talking. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, cool. I just want to go over the buy sell thing that we added recently. Props to Gomez for getting this out. So there's a new button next to the wallet card that says buy sell crypto, and you click on that. You're basically brought to providers. These are going to be like our on-ramp, off-ramp providers. So right now we have Gem, and then eventually we'll add more, whatever those will be. So it tells you if you can do a buy or a sell on it. If you click into that, it'll try and connect to my wallet again, apparently. Oh no. I have to refresh. Mr. Nerd here, this is the problem I was talking about. All right, cool. So it brings you to a buy sell modal, and I can select an asset to buy, and this will go filter through the list of assets we support and what Gem supports. So I can buy any of these assets. So if I click Bitcoin, it'll go into my wallet and grab out my address. And what this is doing is basically setting up a transaction for us to interact with Gem. So if I go to continue, it's going to pop open a window. And it's going to send me to Gem's flow. And in the background, it's basically sending them the information they need to basically send me the Bitcoin once I buy it. And on the sell side, it's kind of the same thing. You can buy and sell different assets. So this is another filtered list. And we showed the balances here. So if I wanted to sell $1 of USDC, I hit continue. It's going to do the same thing. Bring me to the sell side of their UI. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and very useful.
Awesome. Thanks, Beard. If there are no questions, let me just check the stage chat. Okay, Mr. Nurhair says he thinks it'll be fixed with the new KeepKeepers implementation. Okay, let's dive into the Foxy. We only have a couple minutes left for anybody who's willing to stay. I don't think there's an event right after this one. We might go a few minutes over. But yeah, go for it. Thanks.
Okay, cool. So this is the earn section, which you've probably seen if you've used the app recently. We've updated it a little bit and standardized the data across the rows on the table. So the Foxy opportunity that we've added now, if you haven't heard about it, but it's basically it's a way for you to earn yield on your Fox, and you just put it in, and then we kind of figure out the best way to make money. Is like in a nutshell, is what happens. We put the Fox to work for you. So once you click on that row, we give you a little information about what Foxy is. It's a rebasing token pegged to the price of Fox, and we'll put it a work across multiple DeFi protocols, and you basically earn yield on that in the form of Foxy, which is pegged 1-to-1 to Fox. So this works similar to the vaults. You'll hit deposit, select the amount you want to deposit, hit continue. You are interacting with a router contract, so you'll have to approve that router contract to spend your Fox or use your Fox. Approve. Now you can confirm the deposit. We just go over the information again like we do with the earn vaults. Sign in broadcast. And if I go back to overview, you can see I now have 5,000 Foxy. And this is the balance that will actually tick up as you earn yield on your Fox. And then also from here, you can see the pending withdrawals, which will make sense in a second. If I go to withdraw, this is different than the earn vaults. So the Foxy opportunity, you can do an instant withdrawal or a delayed withdrawal. The instant has a 3% Foxy fee on it. So if I click on this, you'll see that I have a withdrawal fee of 150 Foxy. And the other thing is, if you do instant, you'll have to pull out your entire balance, the maximum amount. And then 7 days, you'll have to do a withdrawal. And then after that 7 days, you can come back and claim it. So I'm going to do that one. I'll preview my withdrawal. I'm interacting with the contract again. I'm going to allow it to use my Foxy. There's an overview of what's happening. Sign it. Now, if I go back to my overview, I now have a withdrawal here, and I can see it's pending, the amount that I requested to withdraw, and then how long until I can actually claim it. So let's say I come back in 5 days. It'll say it's available, and I can hit claim now. And then the claim is very straightforward. This is the amount you're claiming, the gas fee, and then what address it's going to claim to. Or send the funds to, rather. Broadcast transaction complete. Woo! That's pretty much the entire flow.
Cool. Thanks for flying through that. Yeah, and just so you guys know who. Yeah, just so you guys know, this is, I don't know if you saw it earlier on, but this has gone through a ton of iterations because there's a lot of special things, like especially on that withdrawal piece, that we had to try to make super clear to the user. So we feel like it's finally in a good place. And yeah, as you guys know, this is already a bounty that's being worked on and is in flight. So hopefully this will be available very soon on the ShapeShift web app. Awesome. If there's no questions in the stage chat, I want to just thank everybody for joining. I know we went a couple minutes over. On ShapeShift.com, there's a new buy sell crypto page that talks about all of the different assets you can buy sell on the new web app. And then beyond that, we are on the ShapeShift.com website going through and making some changes periodically as needed. So yeah, I think that's all we've got for today. I see Seth jumped up on stage.
Hello.
Hey.
So I have a question about the crypto scam database. Is there a plan to sort of integrate that into our backend? So if people try to send transactions to a scam account, something happens to warn them or stop them, or what's sort of the plan there?
Nothing formal yet. That might be a good thing if you wanted to propose it. I was bringing it up as it becomes a larger vector when we start bringing in a dApp store. But it's possible to do it on just anybody sending money anywhere. But yeah, that's just something that we're bringing up and discussing in the future.
Okay. I think something as simple as, this has been flagged as a scam, and here are the transactions in which it's been associated with the scam. That would give very quick but very useful information to people. So I think that's worth looking into.
And just super nitpicky, we would, if we were doing that, we would do it on the front end and not the back end, just to make sure we're not leaking any information to the back end. It shouldn't have it. But I'm super pedantic.
I think it's a cool idea. There is a challenge in figuring out how do we verify a scam address, right? Like, how do I make sure that you don't submit my address as a scam address? How do we verify that? Maybe there's an opportunity there, especially, we've got a big community and stuff. There's a big trend right now around like community moderation, curation and stuff, verification, and using tokens as incentives to incentivize people to do all that verification and stuff. So I think it's a cool idea, but I think there's the hard part isn't how do we display it to the users. The hard part is how do we actually maintain this scam database, basically. And so I do like the idea of, if there are already these open databases and stuff like that, just kind of implementing those. And then if people want to report new scams, we point them to like these existing databases and collaborate with the broader industry on figuring out what is and what isn't a scam.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Seth.
Cool. Well, I'm going to bring Lo-Fi Girl up here if there's no other questions. Thank you guys for joining us.